What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Just finished recording the podcast myself. I was without Pat this week. He's on vacation. So I had my fill-in, my boy, my former Korn Ferry Tour caddy, Garrett Simmons, hop in with me. Check out that show if you haven't already. But let's get into our favorite early looks for some outrights over here on DraftKings Sportsbook. You need to check it out. And, while you're here, give the video a thumbs up, a like, subscribe to the DraftKings YouTube channel if you don't mind. And I'm going to dish out a few of my favorite outright bets for the RBC Canadian Open 2022 from St. George's Golf and Country Club. It's a par 70, a little over 7,000 yards. Interesting golf course. Looks like kind of a classic tree parkland style deal, requiring a lot of accuracy, precision, and the rough can be a little gnarly for sure. I think scrambling is going to matter a little bit. These greens are like a bent POA mix, but I've heard they're pretty pure. All in all, it's kind of a weak field. There's a few names at the top getting ready for the U.S. Open next week that like to play the week before, like Rory, for example. So there's a few names up at the top, but the depth of the field is not great. So I think it's an interesting week and could be a week for some long shots. I'm going to hammer some of those long shot bombs. That's what I like to do anyway. If you've been following me or the Tour Junkies long enough, you know that I don't like to bet a lot of short numbers when it comes to betting on golf. So I don't plan on starting that today for the RBC Canadian Open, okay? All right, let's get straight into it. I'll be honest, at the top of the board, there's just not much I really care to touch. You should know, too, that Royal St. George's, or sorry, not Royal St. George's, just St. George's, is new to this, to the rotation. The last time they played it here was in 2010, and not a lot of these guys, I don't know how many, but not many, have played there in 2010 for that event. And plus, the greens went through a big renovation, so the course is a little different. So, we don't have a ton of course history really to go off of, which is fine. But the weather looks nice all week. It looks like it might be a little breezy, but nothing crazy. So let's get into it. At the top of the board, I'm not really interested until we get to somebody named Tony Fenow at 30-1. Fenow's been popping lately, right? Like he's been playing well. He's had a couple of top 5 finishes here in the last few weeks. I like the length factor for Fenow here. Some of these par threes are quite long. I think they have 5 par threes on this course, and 4 of them are between 200 and 230 yards. So you're going to hit some long irons on this golf course for sure. He'll probably be able to have long irons into a couple of the par 5. There's only 2 par 5, so I think he'll be able to have a long iron into both of those as well. And it just feels like the form has now kind of come back for Tony, and 30-1, I like it. The next one for me is 50-1, and it's Chris Kirk. And Chris Kirk has just been on fire lately. The only thing I'm a little worried about with him is this will be his 4th event in a row, and he is playing in golf's longest day, which is the final chance to qualify for the U.S. Open. It's 36 holes today. It happened today. I don't know if we know the results just yet, but it's a lot of golf for these guys. And so obviously, if he does decide to stay in the field, he's gonna be tired, and he's gonna have not seen the course very much. But I still like the way Chris Kirk is hitting it. He did not hit his irons very well at Memorial, but that's kind of an outlier. He's been very steady with his irons here lately. Off the tee, he's gaining strokes, which is good for a guy like him, a shorter hitter. He's got 2 top 5s and a T7 so far in 2022. That's pretty solid. I like Chris Kirk. My favorite value on the board is Johnny Vegas. At 70-1, I would bet him as short as 50-1. He's actually won the RBC Canadian Open twice, again, at a different golf course both times. But he clearly likes it up here. Like Fenow, can take advantage of his distance, and he's coming off like a T37 or something at Memorial, a T15 at TPC Potomac at Avenel Farm for the Wells Fargo, and I think that course is similar to what we're going to see here in Canada. So Johnny Vegas, to me, is a really good value. I love that value. 3-time PGA Tour winner. The last time he won this, so he won in 2016 and 2017. The last time he won it in 2017, he was coming off 5 straight missed cuts. Boom. Win in Canada. This just feels like one of those Johnny Vegas type of situations. So I like Johnny V. If you can find him at 70-1 still, which I'm seeing, that I think that's a good thing. Other than that, I am interested in Brendan Todd at 100-1. Todd was wasn't he in the final group at Colonial, where he ended up finishing 3rd, lost to Sam Burns, and but played really well. He's an accurate hitter, very accurate off the tee. He's probably going to find himself hitting into a lot of these greens from the fairway like usual. Deadly with the putter. I don't know. 100-1 seems like a good value on Todd in a field this crappy. given his recent form. He's also participating in golf's longest day in terms of a U.S. Open qualifier, so maybe a strike against him. But Brendan Todd's interesting. David Lipsky at 130 to 1 I like. I've been a fan of Lipsky all season. He's a grinder. He's won on the worldwide stage. I think he's won on the Asian Tour, the DP World Tour, European Tour. He's played well at the Korn Ferry Tour level. Had a 6th place finish in Mexico, 7th place at Corrales, 25th at the Byron Nelson. I don't know. He's just kind of a grinder kind of guy, and this feels like a tournament where we could have some, variance and some random dude win an event. He's at 130 to 1. I like that for David Lipsky. And then I got a couple guys at 200 to 1, a few guys at 200 to 1 that I think are massive values. JT Poston at 200 to 1 is definitely a value. Here's a PGA Tour winner, a guy who should have 2 PGA Tour wins, but he lost down the stretch on a bad ruling to Seamus Power last year. Coming off a 3rd place finish at the Heritage, a 9th place finish at the Wells Fargo. And this is kind of what he does. When he gets to a course that's better suited for his game, a shorter hitter, more precise, good short game, you don't have to hit it a mile to contend. He does well. I mean, going into the Heritage, which is definitely a course like that, his form was terrible. His form was a 41st, a miscut, a 42nd, a miscut. That's terrible. Then he finished 3rd at Heritage, came to Mexico Open where it was wide fairways. He just bombed it everywhere. He missed the cut. He goes to Wells Fargo the next week, back to where like precision matters and it's a little more like, work the ball, a little more creative golf course. He finished 9th. So like JT Poston at 200 to 1 to me is a great value. Patrick Rogers at 200 to 1. I mean, I can't stand the guy. He loses me money all the time, and he'll probably continue to. But that's a big but here. His upside seemingly is there, although he hasn't really shown it in 2022. His best finish is a 10th at Mexico. And I do know for a fact he had a fill-in caddy that week, a very good caddy at that, and he doesn't have that caddy anymore. But, I mean, he does have top 10 upside. He does have the ability to contend. He's done it before. He just hasn't really ever closed the door. He's just got a bunch of runner-ups. Guy's been on tour for forever, no victories. So it's probably not happening. But it seems like a good name and a good value in a field like this. And finally, I'm going to give you Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace has been playing really well over on the DP World Tour after sucking over here. He is a worldwide winner as well, looking for his first PGA Tour win. Wallace has won some big-time events over on the DP World Tour. So good to see him playing well again. I like Matt Wallace. He's one of my favorite Brits. But I think he's got like a 5th and an 18th or something in his last 2 starts over on the DP World Tour. And now he's coming here and, you got names like Rory and JT and Scheffler and Cam Smith. I mean, the top of this board is nice, but after Sam Burns, it kind of drops off quickly. So it's like you take your chances on, is Burns going to win again? Is Shane Lowry and Fitzpatrick finally going to get it done on the PGA Tour? They haven't so far. Is Cam Smith going to do it? Rory, JT, Scheffler, like you got to get past those guys. And that is a good top end of this field. But like I said, it just drops off a lot after that. So I think we can find some value. That's it for me. That's it for the RBC Canadian Open. Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Enjoy, and let's make DraftKings pay up this week. All right, DB out. I'll be back next week for the U.S. Open. We'll be live from Scotland. Me and Pat are going to Scotland. Golf trip. That's right. Only the Tour Junkies would go to Scotland the week of the U.S. Open and 1 month before the Open Championship. That's what we're doing. So good for us. So hopefully we'll see you from Scotland. Video will probably be way less clear, but we'll be in Scotland. It is what it is. All right. See you.